5 minutes ago, I had that blue screen come up saying that they're shutting down my system to protect the system. So I've got to reboot. And we're almost there. I hope everybody's having a good evening. Realize it's already 1/3 of the way through September. Jeez. Okay. Yep, that was the blue screen of death. Telling me there's something in my hardware that's not working correctly. It's a blue something or other failure. Okay, we're getting there. There's the video card. All right. That might be time for that. Hold on, I'm still trying to get all the chart systems up. All right. Let's see if this works. All right. Guess we've got the Dow on here. Teddy, you can find the formulas in the, I think they're in the, I don't know whether they're in the members area, they're in the free items, free resources. Then go down the left-hand column, you'll find formulas for TCNet. All right. Well, as we can see, on Friday was a relatively good day considering the previous day was as strong as it was. So today with some profit taking really wasn't anything to be concerned about. However, I still think we're going to be in a slow, steady uptrend from here, kind of that 45 degree. But the NASDAQ was a little bit more bearish as far as it actually creating a sell signal, a evening star signal. Now we have to see whether it can hold up above the T line. Brian, if you can just, what do I say, verbally describe the signal, then you should be able to very easily rewrite the signal for whatever software you're using. And once you see the formula, I mean, it's very easy to decipher that if today's close was higher than yesterday's open and yesterday's open was higher than yesterday's close or whatever, then you pretty well can describe what your pattern is and write the formula for it very easily. Yep. So, all right. Now, nothing's really been pushing the market one way or the other. Here are interest rates, pretty much absolutely sideways. Crude oil prices are caught below the 200-day moving average. They're trying to do a fry pan bottom, but if they come up and fail at this level, that could be a double top, which would be taking crude oil prices down lower. And when do you enter an index like SPY or diamonds with an option? How do we do that? If we want to enter an index, Jules, each brokerage firm should have all those symbols where you can, depending on the brokerage firm, the entities that you can trade. Let's see. All right. Okay. So, anyways, let's see. Yeah, right. You'd be zipping through. That's what holds me up. Let's see. It looks like the dollar's trying to bottom. Might not have gotten there yet, though. And I think it was feeder cattle is slowly moving up, but it was lean hogs today that had the big price move. Came up doing kind of a morning star signal. Now it has to get through the 200-day moving average. The grains, soybeans are starting to weaken a little bit. Rolling over, trading back below the T line. They're up a little bit after hours tonight, but not anything yet that would tell us the stochastics or the chart is not still heading in a downward direction. Somebody asked about wheat today. Wheat is just about flat, just caught in this trading range. You'd think it'd be bouncing off the 50, but it's not doing that yet. You can still figure out where you want to have your buy stops. Somewhere along this top of the end of the trend channel. Yeah, it looks like a little pennant. And what else do we have out there? Gold, silver, gold. Gold started moving up big, bearish Harami. If it opens lower, I bet you Dyna Donuts are bringing it back to the T line to test it. Same scenario with silver. Good for a piece away from the T line. Did a doji. If it trades back down below the low of today's doji, you probably want to go short, anticipating it's going to come back down to at least the T line. Okay, let's see. That was basically the commodities. There are a heck of a lot of good-looking charts out there right now. Still like Rovi very well, or very much. Make this a little bit bigger. After the belt hold, it still kept up above the T-line, but there could be a breakout here pretty soon. And the same goes for SCOR. Bah humbug. SCOR. Another one that's just now doing that slow rounding curve, closed right on the 50. If it opens positive, you want to be buying it immediately because you're going to have a kind of a slow rounding curve breakout and it breaking out above the 50-day moving average, which usually is a very high probability trade. Today we were getting kind of concerned back that because the market was selling off a little bit, there's some sell-off, but got to remember, it's got to sell off in a stock has to have all the parameters, all the confirming indicators working. For example, BONT came up, did a bearish engulfing signal, but didn't close below the T-line, so we only had one alternative, or we had at least a format for the next day. If it opened lower and traded below the T-line, you closed out the position. It needed to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. So you got to remember that just because there's a signal, it's got to be confirmed. The longer it stays above the T-line, the more it has to be confirmed that it's closing below the T-line. Number one. Or number two, there are days where you have pullback days that aren't necessarily sell signals. You just have to hang on to them because there are down days and uptrends. Now, RE or RGEN did a nice little kicker signal today. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading using today's open as your stop. But that kicker signal, basically your wave one, wave two, starting wave three, which should be the equivalent of wave one. So you've got another potential of 15-20% to the upside. What else do we have in here? GTAT. Nice little J-hook pattern setup. And same scenario for FTK. If this one opens positive, you want to be buying aggressively. And these tails to the upside, look where they are happening. We're closer to the oversold condition. That means if they keep opening it up higher into the tails of the previous day, it tells you the previous day profit taking is over and they're still taking it higher. HW also is a nice little kind of morning star signal breaking out into new territory. This one you want to keep an eye on for it going much higher. And here is the best one. If this one opens higher tomorrow, you definitely want to be buying it. SSH. This one is a perfect setup. SSH, notice the gap down, flat trading dojis, and then a gap up again, both above the 20 through the 50. If this opens positive, they're going to be taking it right back up to the recent highs, which should be up in the $15 area. So this is a long stretch of indecisive trading that told you exactly what they're doing. And this is a gap up out of an indecisive trading stretch with a doji at the end. That's going much higher. CoStar has somewhat the same thing. They're just a fry pan bottom with a bunch of dojis. Watch this one coming out the other side. Remember, when they come out of the other side of these indecisive trading, This is why deltas are not important to a lot of the option trades that are very profitable for candlestick research, is that this delta forming in here because of flat trading is going to have nothing to do with the move at this trajectory coming out of that trade. Santa. Yeah, coming out of this flat, indecisive trading, popped it up big. This one, if you're still holding, you should be out of, excuse me, if they open it lower and start taking it back down, because they're going to take it down to the T line. Maybe. Might even be going lower. So if it opens lower and you see it start selling off, close out the position as fast as possible. You can always buy it back in if it bounces off the T line. Jim, go ahead and open up the chat. I don't know if, I need to have the questions out there to keep me on track. Another one, ES, Energy Solutions. Volume is decent. Thank you. This one can be bought on positive trading and anticipating the next move up to the 200-day moving average. Jules, that didn't mean for the euro. Let's see what we got for the euro. It's still moving up, but it gapped up. Now I'll have a bearish Harami because okay, we still need to just keep the individual questions until after the. Have we forgotten what we do here? All right, we're going to take individual questions on stocks after the double line. If people have questions about chart patterns or things like that, they're general questions. That's what we're looking for. That's right. The T-line rule is very simple. If you see a candlestick buy signal, you're in an uptrend as long as it closes above the T-line. A candlestick, or the candlestick buy signal is if you see a candlestick buy, the T-line buy signal is when you see a candlestick signal and a close above the T-line, you're in an uptrend. And so you see a candlestick sell signal and a close below the T-line. Bearish Harami always a sell if it's the high probability is that it's a sell if it occurs in the overbought condition. If it's someplace else other than the overbought condition, then you need to see confirmation. Do you ever get out of it goes below the T-line intraday or only on the daily? Well, only on the daily because any intraday charts are going to be for that time frame. But you will get out of one. If you've got a stock that's well in the overbought condition and it's having a big, big day, then you flip to your 10-minute chart to see when it starts coming back below the T-line. Then you might take some profits at that level. We had some questions on the doji followed by a gap up, or a candlestick signal followed by a gap up. If you're in the oversold area and you see a doji or a candlestick buy signal and a gap up the next day, there's a good positive or the probability to say it's time to buy. So the question is, what happens if it opens up higher and comes back down? you got to still remember what that gap up told you in the first place. If there was somebody in there trying to buy with enthusiasm, the profit taking you can't control. But if you know that somebody was in there with enthusiasm to buy, and then there's profit taking, you just wait for the profit taking to get over to start buying. So if you buy on a gap up after a doji in the oversold condition, don't get panicky unless it comes back down and closes below that doji. Doesn't doji usually mean reversal? Yes, if it's in the overbought or oversold condition. Managing a doji gap up trade. All right, we'll get to that. Doji means indecision. Watch for the next day. Yes. And the rule of the doji is the price is usually going to move in the direction of how they open it after the doji. What if the T line is being followed, but it's almost always in the middle of the candle body? Avoid the stock. Yeah. That's where you're going to kind of get a whipsaw action, like we're seeing right here, where they take up and down and up and down. That usually tells you you're in a whipsaw. You probably want to just stay away from that until you see it break through a resistance level out of that trading range. Let's see. I've been testing the 3T, and it seems to get me in and out faster as a day trader. It works really well. All right, Glenn, that's the information. I've been accumulate that type of information over the summer. I just haven't had time to get it all put together. Whatever somebody comes up with their testing, that's the exact reason for the chat room, is so that everybody doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. Just throw out information and let other people test it, play with it, and tweak it and see if they can't even improve it. What do you typically do when you put on a position? Setting up a stock right away, wait a bit, talk about this some more. All right, I will. Okay. Would you wait for price over tip of wicks on shooting starts before buying in FTL? Well, FTL. I don't know what FTL stands for. All right, let me, okay, I can see that we turning off, this was a, backup, Don, I have no idea what the 3Q would do to the, QE3 would do. I will let the market tell me what it thinks about it. Do you need a full day's confirmation for a doji? Definitely not. Remember, it's going to be how they open it after a doji. All right, let me get to some more stocks here. What are we looking at? Did I do UBNT? That one's a nice little stock. Notice what it did. When it came up to the 50, it just kind of hovered, and you had that T-line crunch. Just as the T-line was crunching through the 50, you pushed everything up. I would be a buyer of this one on a positive open tomorrow, using the halfway point of this candle as your stop. And let's see, I had a whole bunch here. FTX, let's see, FTK. FTK can be bought on positive trading. That's soybeans. We want Sprint. It got back up through the T-line, gapped up today. If it opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately. Rad, remember, we want to be buying when we see there's buying strength out there. If the pre-market futures show that they're pretty much selling the market off, there's really no reason to jump in to those stocks. The only reason you would want to jump into any stock that we're going to be recommending is that if it opens positive and starts trading positive, even though the market's heading down, because that means independently they're buying that stock despite what the market is telling us. Here's a nice little scoop type pattern that just closed above the T-line. This is on BYD. If it opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying with the anticipation you're going to be heading pretty quick up to the 200-day moving average. And Fro, I think it's one of the trucking companies. Nice little scoop pattern. Closed right here at the 50. If it opens positive, you want to be buying immediately. You should have a good slingshot effect up to the 200-day moving average. And SGMO. Another one. It broke out nicely. As they broke out through this level. Let's see what I was going to say. All right, this was just a breakout. TSN. TSN is another one that can be bought on positive trading. Notice the T-line crunch is pushing it up through. That tells you there's going to be a lot more force to the upside. And Mako. Mako had a good chart, unless I was looking at the wrong chart. No, that one's got a nice one using the T-line as support, breaking through the 50. There's a gap to be filled all the way up to this level, so you know you've got a good 20% return just to head for filling the gap. Doji sandwiches. This is why anytime you see a high, that's not what I want. A big trading day followed by a doji. If it opens positive the next day, it's usually going to have another big trading day like the first day. This is as good a setup as you can get if you're a day trader. Notice the doji doesn't necessarily have to be anywhere, any condition of the stochastics, other than the fact that you want your stochastics heading up, you want your trend heading up with a buy signal. This one, no, it's not the rising three methods. We'll get to that one. We haven't gotten to Hig yet tonight. I better pull Hig up. I've got shut down there for 10 minutes, which is usually where I'm putting a lot of my information on. So anyways, you see a doji after a big up day, look for a positive open the next day and be ready to buy immediately. Now Hig did a pullback today, but would not be as greatly concerned because notice where your stochastics are. They aren't in the overbought area. So this just tells me there was some selling in an uptrend. I would definitely like to see it open positive and trade positive from here. If it opens lower and starts trading down, close out the position anticipating they're going to come back and test the T-line before turning around and heading back up again. Let's see, what else I need to do here? SAPE. Another one where you had the big up day. Don't know what it did on the beginning here, but it opened flat. As soon as it started going positive, should have been a buyer because that day is going to be a high probability of that same magnitude. WERN had a kind of a little spinning top doji type day, open positive, same magnitude as this candle right here, coming out of what I would look like as a scoop pattern. And there's that left-right combo, bullish confirmation, going into wave 3. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. And what was that? That was CSE. BGC was one that we recommended today because of the big bullish, I want to say, belt hold breakout. Bullish engulfing signal belt hold. Still trading positive. I'd still be using this big signal telling you there's a break in investor sentiment, that they're breaking everything out. What is the 4-hour? You could. Or, because of a belt hold signal, that's wiped out a lot of sellers. So you may be running in front of the T line for a few days. Let's see what else we got here. Gaps. Yeah, this one I didn't get to. Now here's what I had one illustration. If they gap this up, this gap up tells you immediately there's lots of demand for this stock. Then there's profit taking. When do you want to start buying? Well, I'd want to see if they turn this around intraday and then look for any buying coming in, which it didn't do on this day. It took it a couple more days. This left-right combo told us that selling was over and the buying was stopping, which meant then your uptrend was starting, and starting with a gap up situation. Let's see. Yes. If you're in an overbought condition, and I'm guessing you're referring to BGS. If you see a bullish engulfing signal in an overbought condition, you start looking for a sell signal. Problem with that is you're not in an overbought situation. You're still in the middle, and you've broken out through a recent price peak. So there's nothing. We're not in the overbought condition right here. All right. Who was it that needed verification or kind of more guidance on the gap ups? I'm trying to think of which ones. Now, this one is going to be that scenario. It's where they've gapped it up and then over. With the gap up off the doji being the end of a long frying pan bottom type setup, indecisive, and they gap it out. I'm guessing this one will be up another 20, 25 points before it's not 20, 25 points up to the $15 level, up 25% to 50% when this one's over. Okay, guess that's about it. I would have things more orderly, other than the darn computer keeps shutting me down. Does a higher number of indecisive trading days, dojis, indicate there will be a stronger move when it does happen? Yes. It's like a coiled spring. The more you see a flat trading area and it breaks out, there's going to be a lot more force to that breakout, the longer that flat trading period is. The evening star in the NASDAQ could be a better warning that they might start taking it back down. However, we still need to see a close below the T line, and I'm guessing right now it's the next support level below the T line will be the 50-day or either the 20 or the 50. So if they come down through the T line tomorrow, if we wake up and the pre-market futures are down, then you start looking more to seeing which of your stocks need to be closed out that are creating sell signals. How do you tell if a stock breaks the downtrend when you have a candlestick buy signal? You have to have some verification. What were some that... let me find something here. Yeah, you need to see, usually the confirmation is you're going to need to see a candlestick buy signal and a close above the T line. There's your left-right combo with a close above the T line. Right here at the downtrending channel, probably right on it. So either you're going to fail there at that level or you're going to go through. And when you go through, where's your first resistance? Right up here by the 50. Doesn't pull back much to the little kind of rounding bottom and then starts heading up. So, but this was the clue right here that we had a strong buy signal in the oversold area, and it was not paying too much attention to this downtrending channel when they broke through it. So that's, you want to find out what other indicators are out there that will confirm that your buy signal is breaking other resistance levels. Okay, discuss that. All right, transport's strong today. That's a good sign then. If the transports were strong, that tells us this market's not really going anywhere. Not when the transports are strong, that's usually the first indicator showing that the economy is going to be picking up sometime down the road. If the trucking orders are starting to pick up. How about some shorting examples? There weren't, we had a bunch of, let me see if I wrote this. Oh, I had some. We had some good ones today in the chat room. Right now, I'm only short ABFS. When it started rolling over, and then when it came back up and failed, there's a left-right combo that failed the T line, still heading down further. And STS also, when it broke down, has stayed short, and it closed soft today, which meant the 50 didn't hold. So there's a gap to fill down here. It would be the intended target. There were some bear kickers today, and I had these all written down. Shaw. Ew, and I don't know what I did with them. Kunar had about 5 or 6 very good shorts today in the chat room. That may be WPRT rolling over. I would anticipate this one's got the potential of coming back down and filling this gap. Now notice that gap was a kicker signal. A lot of people ask, well, don't they fill the gaps? Yes, they'll fill the gaps. It may not be on this trend. It may be 3 months later, maybe 6 months later, maybe 2 years later, but they'll usually come back. Let's see. Okay, yes. Thank you, Kunar. Whoops. There's a kicker signal to the downside. This one you want to be shorting immediately if it opens lower tomorrow. ELN, another one rolling over nicely. This one can be shorted on weakness tomorrow. PXP, another gap down. Notice the dumpling top. Now they're gapping it down. They should be able to take this down pretty hard and fast. SPRD, yeah, that one has got possibilities. Let me see which one was it. ZUMZ failed and still heading down. I wouldn't go short Arna for one specific reason, because it's a pharmaceutical. Now, it's got a good short chart, but a pharmaceutical, all it has to do is have a little inkling that they're going to make an announcement, and these things will whip around on you. So I just have a hard time right now shorting the pharmaceuticals because they seem to have a lot of strength. Yes, we will have Kunar doing one of the member chat sessions on his techniques for how he's trading. Probably within, if it's not next Monday, it'll be the next one, Kunar. So I'll get with you to work out a schedule. Whoops. Yes, that's a good looking one to go short with. Yeah, it will be recorded. Okay. Yeah, Netflix is a what I would call a proverbial short. Stay short in this as long as it can't get back up above the T line. Okay, that one's a good little breakout. GMCR coming out of this little rounding bottom. I would suspect the 200 being the next target. All right, if you'll go ahead and do the double line. CLSN looks good as long as the volume is good. There's that little gap up from a doji that usually will start a strong trend. There's a doji gap up, which will usually start a strong trend. If you get into the question was, what if I buy and immediately backs off? Well, two things. One, if it immediately backs off and comes back down below the head of the doji, that tells you the sellers are still in control. Close it out immediately. If you buy it on the open and it backs off, but just backs off, doesn't really go anywhere, got to remember what the message was on the open. It gapped up. Somebody was anxious to get in there. That's usually the beginning of a strong uptrend. It doesn't matter whether that it does matter. You like to see the first day as a green candle, but even if it gaps up, And what was the one that I can't remember which one. Oh, CGS. This one, for example. When it gapped up, it opened right at the top, came back down. But it gapped up. Told you there was lots of buying going on this breakout. Next day, a doji. Next day, bullish engulfing. That told you the selling was over. This gap up, the message was clear, but there's buying force coming in, and that's after the profit taking was over. That's when it started. All right. Jim, do the other double line. Mercy sakes, have I been talking since we did the double line? Okay. Lulu. Lulu, this one, if something big's happening, it should go up, obviously. Or if this is exhaustion at the top, there's your shooting star. If it opens lower tomorrow, I'd be taking profits, which you should have good profits. This one started from somewhere down in here. So you're up 15 points on a $60 stock. That looks like about a 25% return. If it opens lower, take profits. You're in an overbought condition with a shooting star, a lower open, take profits. The worst case scenario is you put your buy stop right back here at where it closed on Friday. If it comes up through there, there may be more upside. You just buy back into it. That's a good looking chart. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. Also, after the doji today. Moss. Moss came back. When it opened lower, where did it go to? Exactly where we thought it would go to. Back to the T line. If it opens positive tomorrow, you've got that double doji setup. You want to be buying immediately. Las Vegas Sands. This one is telling us it's probably caught in this slow uptrending channel. You've got a bearish engulfing signal. If it opens lower, you want to be out of it and wait till it hits the bottom of the trend channel, which could be somewhere right in here. And disc, with a shooting star today at the top of the trading channel. Be careful it's not in the trading channel. If it opens lower tomorrow, I'd come out of it and wait to see where it supports. Whoops. ANR. Another one that has a nice little doji just at the 50. Makes this extremely simple for a day trade. If it opens positive, it's not using its 50 anymore as resistance. Other people are going to see it's trading positive and jumping in. I want to be in first. Want to have a good day trade setup. Your doji sandwich. CCO or CCRT, another nice rounding bottom. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading tomorrow. MDRX, another rounding bottom. Shazam. That's a good looking chart. Another one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading. Maxwell. Nice breakout. Did a doji today. If it opens positive tomorrow, definitely would be a buyer. Yeah, Apple got fairly weak today. Well, shuzzles. That might be the death knell. Notice how it got indecisive up here, but then all of a sudden we've got a big bearish engulfing signal that closed as a left-right combo below the T-line, stochastics rolling over. That might be where we start seeing some choppy up here. and in a bad trading area. ACI, another one that can be bought on positive trading tomorrow, up above the 50. MCP, S.MCP. This one can be bought on positive trading using the bottom of the low of today's trading. Use that as my stop. This one needs more time. You can see the rounding bottom starting, but it needed to open positive and trade positive to do a J-hook type pattern. Right now, with this closing back below the T line, you don't want to be in it just yet. BRT, BRT, well, Shazam. BRT. Not working. All right. WLT. Came back up, just tested the 50. If it opens lower, you're still in a downtrend, in a downtrending channel. And Priceline. So it's in this uptrending channel. Yeah, this one's going to be a harder one to trade just because there's no real pattern, just a slow uptrend. Oops, hang on for 1 second, folks. Another one. Okay, all right. Got that fixed, thank goodness. Still a little bit of weakness in this computer. ITW, another one that might be, again, caught in this this trend channel. It's still in a slow uptrend. You stay with it as long as it stays above the T line. It did Lulu, HEK. Oh, HEK, that's lean hogs. You probably want something other than that. So we'll try this HEK. This one is looking like it's trying to roll back over to either let the T line catch up or go down and meet the T line. If it opened lower tomorrow, I'd be taking profits and see what it did at the T line. Rovi on a hard stop. The T line. As long as it stays above the T line, you want to stay with it. S.VRT. Just not working. CLF. This one did come right up to the 50 and touch it. Now it has to open positive and trade positive, stay in it. If it opens lower, they're coming back to test the T line. GNK, another one that can be bought immediately on a positive open. That little doji sandwich setup. Did Apple ROSG. Let's going to make this bigger. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. ROSG is just too flat to do anything with right now. Caught between the 200. I would rather be out of it and then put a buy stop up here at 640, knowing that it broke out through the 200. GOLD. Bah. Yes, that. GOLD. You're probably going to see some profit taking going on with the gold prices, maybe backing off a little bit. If the gold starts backing off tomorrow, you probably want to be closing this out and wait to see what it does once it gets back to the T-line. Left-right combination on BPL, Buckeye Partners. This one you can buy on positive trading tomorrow. Oh, the Dow. I think we're in a slow uptrend. About the same trajectory as what it did before. SD. S.SD. I would be selling this if it can't get through the 200 by tomorrow. AWC. This one you continue to hold until you see a sell signal. SCHW. Practically the same thing as the Dow. If this opens weaker tomorrow, it's coming back to test the T-line. And ABB, S.ABB. A left-right combo. If this opens weaker, they're coming back down to the T-line. PCS, too flat now. It needed to stay above the T-line today. Closed below the T-line. It should be closed out. Bank of America did a dark cloud, but not in the oversold or in the overbought area. But I would close it out if it opens weaker because they're probably taking it back to the T-line. To hold on to it, it needs to open higher and trade higher to stay in it. PT also looks like it might stall here for a couple of days right at the T-line. I'm sorry, at the 200 and the T-line. We did Lulu. GDX, whoops, S.GDX. Another one that's backing off probably to the T-lines. Let's see, somebody wanted Bidu. Bidu, you stay short until you see a buy signal. Now you have a doji down here in the oversold area. So if I was short already, I'd have a buy stop one tick above today's high. If it came back through there, you know that they're at least probably coming up to test the T-line. Then you can see about reshorting it at that level. GDX, we did that one. All right. Nokia bounced off the 50, but it can't get through the T-line yet. It needs to get up through that T-line very quickly. Oops, what did I do here? Swift. This one is in a slow, steady uptrend. You can be buying this one using the 50-day moving average as your stop, the halfway point of today's candle. And MUR, Murphy Oil. Another one that doesn't have a reversal signal, so if I saw the first signs of weakness, I'd get out and then wait for the next buy signal. We did CLF, Ross Stores. This one you can short on any weakness tomorrow. CRM. Also running out of steam. It has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. Otherwise, you're looking at a double top. CMI was one that was a doji with a gap up. But like any other of the trading rules, it came back, closed below the T line. It was closed out. It also closed below the halfway point of the candle that told us the bulls were in control. That doesn't necessarily mean this one's over. They might bring it back to the 50 and then check to see what type of signal it does there. It might be doing a stutter step. Well, shuzzbutts. This thing is jumping around. What was that? VTR. All right, that's a short. And unfortunately, Tony, that's a lap. AKS. This one, if it opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying immediately. If it opens lower, they're going to come back and test the T-line, but that puts you right back into the trading range again. Alcoa did come up and touch the 50. Now watch to see how they open it. If they open it lower tomorrow, they're taking it back down to at least the T-line. TLT, the 20-year bonds, that's the short ones or the regular ones? They're coming back down, but it looked like the 10-year was stuck in the middle, not going anywhere. You probably want to find a better trading entity right now that's not kind of caught in between the moving averages. They did Sears, AKS. Oh, that's the open on a positive. International paper. This one, if it opens lower, yes, you short it immediately. Ford, starting up, this one you can stay with as long as it stays above the T line. NDTD, UNTD. J-hook pattern that can be bought on positive trading tomorrow. PSA for shorts. Yes, that's a kicker signal to the downside. Let me see, we're having problems here again. CENX, continue to hold as long as you don't see a sell signal. US Steel. This one needs to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, it's coming back to test the T line. It needs to open positive to be aggressive with it. Google didn't do quite a bullish and bullish bear. Let's see, didn't do anything. Just a down day and an uptrend. Let's see. Coach. This one you continue to hold with the anticipation that they're going to take this right up to the 200 now. As we've seen, there's been a few where they stretched it to the 200. If you see them stretching it to the 200, where do you think everybody in the world's watching for it to go to, and they're going to be ready to take profits? So if you see something where they slam it up, and especially in an overbought condition, right to a resistance level, take some profits there, because that's what everybody else is going to do. Fossil needs to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. We did Bidu. I think Intel, they said it was off 3% today. This one, if it was a trader to go short, I'd go short. But this one is too slow moving to even want to trade. Citigroup. Whoops. Citigroup still in an uptrend. Today really wasn't anything, just a down day in an uptrend. Caterpillar. Another down day in an uptrend, but it needs to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. Otherwise, they're coming back to test the T-line, which isn't that far away. Here's another one that just went up and stretched to get to the 50 when profit taking. This one has to open higher to stay in it. Goodyear Tires, continue to lift. We've got a doji today. If it opens lower tomorrow, take profits. Let's see, SLW. Another one that if it opens lower tomorrow, they're coming back down to test the T-line. FE stays short. Another example of that big signal, bearish engulfing signal, tells you something. So anytime that you see a big, huge reversal signal, that's going to be more effective than a regular reversal signal. HL, this one, if it opens lower, you want to be out of it. And Philip Morris, S.MO. This one you can short if it opens lower and starts trading down. Otherwise, yeah, it's flat right now. It wouldn't be long or short. Goldman. Goldman did a bearish Harami. If it opens lower tomorrow, you take profits. It's coming back to the T-line. And Goro, bearish engulfing right at the 50. If it opens lower, you take profits. Then you need to see what it does at the T-line. Another one, if it bearish Harami, notice it gapped up in an overbought condition. Now we've got a bearish Harami. If it opens lower, take profits and see what it does at the 50. We did Lulu, Halliburton. Continue to hold as long as it stays above the T-line. Would you short Apple here? Probably not. Probably there's you could if it's going to come back down to at least the 50. At least I'd be looking at some puts. DJI, as long as it stays above the T-line, you hang with it. Well, come on. S.TMG. .TO Toronto. I don't think I can get that here. Let's see. We did Google earlier. Not a dark cloud, but as long as it stays above the T-line, you want to stay with it. Chesapeake. Chesapeake, yep, it's just telling us it's flat, and it's going to stay flat while it's in between the moving averages. DIA, same thing as the Dow. If it opens lower, they're probably coming back to test the T-line. And the SPY, same scenario. DLTR. Yes, this could be broken down some more to the downside. What do you use as a trigger to buy or sell, designating positive or negative trade? A percentage of the ATR or a percentage of price, or just above or below a last closing price? My trigger is if I see a candlestick buy signal and all the confirmation is setting up, it's bouncing off a moving average, stochastics are coming out of the oversold area. My confirmation is I want to see the bulls are still participating. LGF, still in an uptrend as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Dell, you might be looking at as a buy. But it's got to close above the T-line. How do you know whether to close out if it's How do you know whether to close it out if it's coming one half way down the previous bar or waiting for the close before the low or below the T-line? If it's just coming down halfway down below the candle, give it to the end of the day. Remember, anything during the day is just noise. That's why the Japanese rice traders put so much emphasis on the open and the close, because those are the definite decision ending or beginning and endings. So if it's coming down through the halfway point and touching this area and coming back up to the top of the trading range, I want to stay in it. But if it closes halfway down here, I want to be out of it. And we'll go into more into that on specific nights. So I'm kind of out of kilter here tonight because of this darn computer. What is this? PSA, what was the question? PSA is a good looking short. Not a bear kicker. No, it's not a bear kicker. This is a bearish engulfing confirmed. A bear kicker would have been if this was a green candle and this was a red candle gapping down below the open and going the opposite way. UNH, that one can be shorted on weakness tomorrow. Yes, that's a good looking short. 3M, that one can be shorted with the gap down after a dark cloud. And Tyco, another one that can be shorted on weakness tomorrow. Doji gap down. Okay. Sorry about the technical problems tonight. What are your 4 signals to follow? Do you use stops on options? No, the stop is going to be on the underlying trading entity. So if the underlying entity hits a stop, yes, you close out the options. So should we not buy intraday? You can buy intraday if everything's setting up correctly. For example, there's not too long ago, I owned, where did it go? Somewhere out in the Never Land. I owned a little bit of Santa, but Santa opened and started trading up above the previous day's trading. Looked like a Morningstar signal at the end. I was buying right in here intraday, not knowing how far it was going to go, but it had already created a Morningstar signal. Thank you, David. Oh, we are getting some good feedback. People are saying their returns are improving. The nice thing about candlestick analysis is, number one, it allows you to participate in more stocks that are moving in the right direction, and it also keeps you out of bad trades. So even if every single trade isn't good, at least you're staying out of more bad trades. So it's just giving you better opportunities to be in a good trade without a bad trade taking back what you made on the good trades. Do you know any ETFs for eggs, for cattle, hogs, and beans? I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Moo for agricultural business? Yeah, that's for one. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, but you should have been out of it. Remember, one of the most exhilarating feelings is being in a trade and it's moving in the right direction. You're producing profits. Another exhilarating trade is stopping yourself out when you know it's time to be out and watch it continue in the direction that the signal setter should be going. So don't let a stop out, small loss be a negative to you. That should be more of a positive that you got out when the trade wasn't working, you were moving back on to something or looking for something where the probabilities are pretty big that the trade would be working in your favor. Here's another potential of a this is sugar in subindex S.SGG. I guess that is what it is. All right. So, all right. With that, all right. Now tomorrow I should be here for a few minutes, and then I've got a plane flight back to Houston. So I'll be gone most of the day. So with that, I guess everybody has said it's called a night. Have a good evening. We'll see you all in the chat rooms tomorrow. Talk to you then.